We are now 100 days into the legislative session in Austin. It's April 23rd, 2025, and these are your headlines. 100 days out of 140, and now with just 40 days left in the legislative session in Texas, a bill designated as a priority by the Republican Party of Texas remains stalled in committee despite mounting grassroots pressure and vocal support from conservative leaders. House Bill 1549, known as the Retail Decency Act, has yet to receive a hearing in the House Committee on Trade, Workforce, and Economic Development. That's chaired by Representative Angie Chen Button. The bill, which was filed by Hillary Hicklin and co-authored by a bipartisan group of lawmakers, seeks to restrict the display and marketing of sexually explicit products in retail environments that are accessible to children. And despite receiving endorsements from more than 100 community leaders, medical professionals, faith-based organizations, and parents, the legislation has been held up for over 100 days now, more than two-thirds of the 140-day session. While the deadline for committees to vote out House bills is May 12th, advocates note that legislation typically needs to move earlier to have any real chance at passage. Now attention is being placed on Amanda Willard. That's Angie Chen Button's chief of staff. Willard's social media posts include a trans pride flag and Black Lives Matter messaging. Now, Kristen Bentley, the chair of the Texas GOP's Stop Sexualizing Texas Kids subcommittee, said that Button herself is ultimately accountable. She said Republican voters expect their elected officials to stand up for children, not cater to fringe ideologies. HB 1549 has been designated as priority legislation by the Republican Party of Texas. Party platform calls on lawmakers to protect children from exposure to sexually explicit materials and content in schools, libraries, and public spaces, including stores. The Texas Senate has unanimously approved two pieces of impeachment reform legislation addressing flaws that were exposed during the 2023 impeachment of Attorney General Ken Paxton. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who was a vocal critic of the House's handling of that impeachment, pledged at the time to overhaul the process to ensure fairness and transparency. He highlighted issues like the lack of sworn testimony, insufficient time for lawmakers to review evidence, and the withholding of pay from officials during impeachment proceedings. So, Senate Bill 2051, brought by Brian Birdwell, requires sworn testimony in the House. It also gives deliberation time frame. House members are guaranteed at least 72 hours to review evidence before floor deliberations and an additional 72 hours after deliberations before a final vote. No more rushing it through on a Memorial Day weekend. It also requires transparency and costs. Both chambers are required to compile and promptly report the costs of impeachment proceedings, aiming to prevent future delays in disclosing the financial impact to taxpayers. It also includes family member voting restrictions, prohibiting family members within the third degree of consanguinity or affinity from voting on impeachment proceedings, a provision highlighted during the Paxton case as his wife, Angela Paxton, serves in the Senate. SJR 68, meanwhile, that's a constitutional amendment proposal that would ensure that impeached state office holders continue to receive their regular pay while the proceedings are ongoing. This addresses a situation in which Paxton lost around $50,000 in back pay during his suspension, with no back pay after acquittal.
Hey folks, Chris Salcedo here. I've got something special for you, the Salcedo Storm podcast. As your friendly, liberty-loving Latino, I bring you a mix of engaging discussions to help us fight for our state and our conservative values. It's the perfect way to stay informed and engaged in what's happening around you. So, what are you waiting for? Don't miss out on the storm of information and entertainment coming your way. The Salcedo Storm podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Cody Campbell, the new chair of Texas Tech's Board of Regents, says he has eyes for reform and growth for the West Texas University. The Texas Tech University System's Board of Regents unanimously approved Campbell to serve as the board chairman on April 14th. He succeeds Mark Griffin in the role. The board also unanimously approved Dustin Womble to succeed Ginger Carrick Davis as vice chair. Campbell has expressed pride in the character that Texas Tech develops in its students. Drawing from his heritage at Texas Tech and in college sports, Campbell hopes to reform both as chair of the Board of Regents. He also aims to grow enrollment from over 41,000 students to 50,000 and beyond in the coming years. For more of today's stories, go to texasscorecard.com.